Hello everybody, it has been a little while since we've had a chit chat, so in this video I want to bring you behind the scenes of the experience of putting on this show, Laugh or You'll Cry, and tell you a really important lesson I've learned between the commercial element of a business, what makes money, what's going to set you free, and how you balance that with a dream and a purpose and a mission. So you know, just a small topic to set us off for the week. Let's frickin' go. So for those of you who don't know, which must mean you don't follow me because I have not shut up about this thing, a few weeks ago I ran my first ever theatre production. Like, what on earth? When I say theatre production, it was a show, it was a business show, which again, what are these words that I'm saying? The idea of the show was, can I get entrepreneurs into a room and talk to them about the reality of running a business to make them feel a bit better about where they are in the journey, but can I also have a laugh with it? I wanted people to leave feeling more connected to their purpose, more honest about who they were, but I also wanted them to realise what it was going to take so that they left thinking, right, I know what I'm here to do, and I realise there's a little bit more effort I need to put into this area or this area. So on the night we had, and I've never done this before, on the night there was a script, an actual script that I had to sit and type and plan and rehearse and memorise. Again, never done that before. I've done talks that have been 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but this was a 2-hour show where there was someone up in the top on lighting, somebody on sound, and there was somebody clicking through the slides. So I couldn't just dart to another story or stop halfway through and just change my mind or pull up another slide from a deck of 100. I couldn't do that. There were people up there saying, okay, we've got 3 lines and then she needs the spotlight. This story's going to end and then we go to the next slide and she needs the lights to turn from blue to orange. That might sound simple, like, yeah, Lisa, that's not too hard. It is. It is. When 99% of my speaking style is a few bullets and make the rest up as you go along. That's my style. Tell stories, bounce off the audience, see what comes up, and always have like material in my back pocket. Well, this was very, very different. What surprised me about putting on this show, total honesty, and I really want you to hear me on this, what surprised me about putting on this show was how much of my nervous system it filled. I was going to say it took me over the edge. It didn't, because I did it and I survived the experience, which we'll talk about in a second. Bloody hay fever. But it overwhelmed so much of my nervous system that a lot of my regular business activities fell by the wayside. I always think that if you're going to go for your dreams and you're going to change your life, a major part of it is you have to push beyond anything you've ever experienced before, and you've got to practice holding an energy in your body you have never ever experienced before. But the crazy thing is that if you can do it, you get to live a new life. If you can do this, which so few people even attempt and even fewer can pull off, you get to change your life. You get to access another level of your own existence. So the feeling I had to hold was the risk of it going wrong, the pressure of rehearsing a script. And in the weeks and months leading up to this event, I was unable to do most things in the business. This is the weirdest thing, but writing jokes, I've never written jokes before. Writing jokes and thinking, I hope this is funny, having a sense that it could be funny, but not knowing until the night, the mix of the audience, the feel of the night, the way things almost build up and crescendo. Will that be funny? Will I deliver that correctly? You know, I've been trying to get a book deal. Yeah. I don't know why I haven't got a book deal. I'm gay, I'm disabled, there's a neurodiversity and I'm a woman. What else do they want? Is there a joke in there? Yeah, if anyone's got anything on how I could land, I think there's a joke in there, but I'm the joke. So there were opportunities like PR opportunities, couldn't do them for the first event. There were things like, Lisa, come on this podcast and promote the show. Couldn't do it. And if you know me, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But putting on this show took me to the edge of my ability. I think because it's so closely tied into a dream that I have, the dream that I can stand in front of thousands of people and put on a show, that I can entertain thousands of people. I don't mean as a comedian. I'm not trying to be a comedian, and I'm not trying to be like a motivational speaker. I'm trying to be transformational. I'm trying to be somebody who acts as a catalyst for somebody to go back inside themselves and go, I hear what she's saying, I feel moved. I remember now why that matters. I know what to do. So not for people to look at me and go, she must tell me the next step. I need to be around her to pull this off. But for them to feel within themselves, to remember within themselves who they are acknowledge what this is going to take, and give it a proper go. So the weird thing that I didn't expect was how much that risk, that effort, going to that place took me to the edge of my ability and overwhelmed my nervous system to the point where I fell behind on some other really important tasks. But I had to do it. I had to do it. And the weirdest thing is, at the time of filming, I've done the Newcastle event and the Leeds event is coming up, and I'm not worried at all for the Leeds event. I'm not anxious, I'm not nervous, I'm excited, I feel ready. What are we doing here? And I think that's probably compounded from all of the speaking that I've done. So much so, I'm doing a talk the day before for 100 salespeople, and then I'm gonna go do Laugh or You'll Cry in Leeds. Because once I'd gone to that moment and I felt it in my body and I held it and it was painful and I survived the experience, then I left that stage a different person to who walked on. I think that's the critical key. If you can have a dream and know that it's a massive stretch for you, it's a risk, it could go wrong. What calmed me down was I said to myself, Lisa, you could fail, it doesn't matter. And then you'll drive home being like, oops, that was a failure. And then you can have the weekend and like recover, and then 3 years will pass like that and you won't even remember that failure. As long as the story you tell yourself was that you were figuring it out and these things happened. But you don't run away from the feeling or quit or play small. You embrace it, you give it everything you've got, and you sit in the discomfort of it. Again, so few people even attempt this, and even fewer pull it off. If you can sit in the discomfort of it and survive the experience and see it through, then you become a different person and you get to live the new life that gives you access to. Now here's the thing, it's given me clarity on something in business. In business, there's a commercial model, and then there is your dream. And those two things don't match. You can make them match, but not in the beginning. I think in the beginning in business, it's not about what you want to bring to the world. And you might think, Lisa, what are you saying? Just hear me out on this. In the beginning in business, you don't really have a reputation, you don't have a brand, you don't have a community, you don't have these skills that you're sitting on thinking, I know this works, I have conviction in this. What you really have in the beginning is a dream, you have promises, you have ideas, but there's no one behind you, there's no evidence, you haven't served yet, so there's no one pushing you up and kind of rising up behind you as a wave. So in the beginning, you can't trade off your reputation because you haven't got one. That sounds harsh, but it's true. Instead, this is happening to me now, you have to trade off value. What is valuable? So if I can prove I can build a website, valuable. If I can prove I can take photos of your house so you can sell it, valuable. If I prove that I know how to clean a car, valuable, because I can see the evidence of it. But how do I prove that I'm a good coach before I've coached? How do I prove that I can put on a great event before I've put on a great event? You can't, can you? You have to do it to gather the evidence, and you then use that evidence in the promo. So one thing we're doing in the business, Chris, who's editing this, hello Chris, in the future, one thing we're trying to do in the business is create new assets that will allow us to step to the next level. So I've realized coming out of this event, a couple of things. One, your business will fund your dreams until your dreams can fund your life. Two, you have to put on the show and take the risk, especially with a smaller audience, because it's the maximum you can get, until you build a strong enough reputation to then bring more people in and more people. That's why you can't cheat. You have to deliver and add value and prove how good you are in order for the audience to expand. And the third thing I've learned is that even when you think you're good, even when you've been on the journey for a while, you following your dream will take you to the edge of your ability. Most people turn away from that edge. They can't handle it, they can't hold it. I couldn't handle it, I couldn't hold it. But I said to myself, feel it, Lisa, feel this pain, feel this discomfort, because a different version of you is going to walk off that stage to the version of you who walked on, and by God, they did.